I'm Elly. Today I'm going to read you a story, A Day Inside a Castle. Are you ready? Yeah! What was it like to live in a castle? Let's spend a day with Prince Henry and Princess Catherine and find out. The cock doth crow to let you know. If you be wise, 'tis time to rise. With a cock-a-doodle-doo, the castle alarm clock crowed as the sun came up. At about the same time, the church bells rang out. In the great hall, Prince Henry and Princess Catherine woke up their high bed behind the curtains. There were not enough beds in the castle for everybody. Most people slept on the floor. As soon as everybody was awake for stirring, servants rolled up to the quilts and blankets and put them away. A busy day was about to begin. After hurrying to the chapel to pray, Prince Henry joined the knights at the stables, where the snorting, stumping war horses waited. When Prince Henry wasn't fighting in a war or fighting in a war game or tournament, he might be riding to visit his other castles. There were always new towers and drawbridges to be built, soldiers to be trained, and quarrels to be settled. Bands of robbers and armies of warring lords roamed the land. The travel was slow and dangerous. When Prince Henry arrived at one of his castles, he wasn't always sure that it still belonged to him. Sometimes another prince or lord had captured the castle, and Prince Henry had to fight to get it back. When not fighting or traveling, Prince Henry and his men often went hunting for bear and deer and birds to feed the castle people, or often just stayed because they liked to hunt. While the prince was away, Princess Catherine took care of the castle. Large keys hung on her belt, and only she could unlock the storerooms, clothes, and pantries. She trained the boys. They were called pages to be polite and obedient. She taught the daughters of noble lords to be controls, generous, loyal, and kind. She also made that these young ladies had lessons in fancy sewing, singing, and dancing. Since the lords were always getting hurt in battles, and since there were no doctors to help them, the ladies of the castle were trained in nursing. They even played war games so that they would know how to defend the castle should it be attacked while Prince Henry and his men were away. Twice a day, the blast of a trumpet announced, "Dinner is served." The people of the castle sat on the wooden benches at long tables, great tall. They didn't use plates or forks in those days. Do you ever hear people said fingers were made before forks? Instead, their food was put over thick slices of dry bread. After they what was this bread plates? The people of the castle sometimes ate their plates. The stacks of food on these plates were enormous. During just one dinner, they might eat eel and pigeon pie and boiled bear and fish and chicken and some of the whole ox or wild pig roasting in the huge fireplace. Sometimes they ate the things that seemed strange to us, such as peacocks, and they used a lot of spices to make spoiled food taste better. They had fewer vegetables and desserts than we have. They drank wine or beer. Even little children did. While people ate, traveling music men sometimes played and sang in the great hall to entertain the lords and ladies. Jugglers and acrobats performed, and clowns ran around doing funny tricks. The castle dogs gobbled up the bones and tidbits that were tossed on the floor.
Wow. The gorgeous picture.
Eating took hours, and people often ate too much. There was nothing to do after their evening meal but go to bed in a great hall and dream of dreadful dragons, witches' spells, of war and battles, of princesses rescued by brave knights. Then